If you live anywhere near Maryville, Tennessee, you have absolutely felt it. That huge shift in the housing market this past year. The frantic energy, the bidding wars, it's all kind of given way to something new. So today, we're going to dive into the data and unpack the real story of 2025 and what it all means for you. And this quote from the local experts over at Hutch and Howard just nails it. It validates that feeling that so many of us have had. The pace, the pressure, the entire vibe of the market has completely changed. And that, of course, leads us to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? It's the one that keeps homeowners up at night and has potential buyers just sitting on the fence. Did the Marysville market just cool off a bit, or are we talking about a crash? Well, that's exactly what we're here to figure out. So let's talk about this new rhythm for the Maryville market in 2025. I want you to think of it less like a car slamming on the brakes and more like a change in tempo. Like the market found a new, more sustainable beat for buying and selling homes. The big story of 2025 isn't a crash at all. It's a calibration. The market basically shifted from this lopsided seesaw where sellers had all the power to a much healthier, more balanced place where buyers and sellers could actually have a conversation. All right, let's tackle the number one concern on everyone's mind: home prices. What actually happened to the value of Maryville real estate this past year? The data might really surprise you. Now, don't let these charts scare you. They tell one really simple story. Over on the left, you can see that the crazy price jumps leveled off. But look at the chart on the right. That's the sheer volume of money still flowing. We're talking tens of millions of dollars in homes being bought and sold every single month. So the big takeaway? The market didn't freeze up. It just found a stable, healthy plateau. And here's the proof in one single number: $389,900. That was the median sale price for 2025. What's amazing is that this number held remarkably firm all year long. It really shows that Maryville home values kept their strength, and we completely avoided the scary drops that we saw in other parts of the country. But price is only half the story. To really get the feel of the market, we have to look at its pace, and maybe most importantly, the number of homes actually for sale, the inventory. Okay, just focus on that top blue line. That's the total number of homes for sale. See how it stayed consistently above the number of homes being sold? For a buyer, that means one thing: choice. You finally had some breathing room. You weren't being forced to make one of the biggest decisions of your life in like 5 minutes. And with more choice, guess what? You get more time. The average time it took to sell a home stretched back out to a much healthier 54 to 60 days. That is a huge shift from the crazy weekend-long frenzies of the past. It gave buyers crucial time to do inspections and actually negotiate without all that insane pressure. So to tie all this together, we need to understand a really key real estate term. It's called the absorption rate. The easiest way to think about it is as the market's metabolism. A low number means a fast, hot market. A high number means a slow one. A balanced market, well, that's right there in the middle. So where did Maryville land? Right around the 2.5-month mark. And just to put that in perspective for you, anything over 6 months is considered a buyer's market, and anything under 4 favors sellers. So at 2.5 months, Maryville wasn't one or the other. It was that incredibly rare thing, a truly balanced market. Okay, so does a balanced market mean that sellers are losing out? Not at all. In fact, here is the hero number for anyone out there thinking of selling. On average, sellers in Maryville in 2025 got 98.2% of their original asking price. The message here is crystal clear. Yeah, the days of insane bidding wars might be over, but if you price your home correctly right from the start, you are still in an incredibly powerful position to sell for top dollar. So why? Why has Maryville's market been so resilient? Well, the answer goes way beyond just the housing data. It's really about the fundamental strengths of the community itself. So let's look at the why behind all these numbers. I want you to think of Maryville's demand as being held up by 4 really powerful pillars. First, you've got the top-tier Maryville City Schools. That's always a massive draw for families. Then you have a rock-solid job market with global employers like Denso and a logistics powerhouse like Amazon. And finally, you have these huge new investments, like the relocation of Smith & Wesson, which just signals massive confidence in the future of this whole region. When you put all of that together, great schools, a really diverse job market, and a fantastic quality of life right next to the Smoky Mountains, what you get is a housing market with an incredibly strong foundation. This is exactly why Maryville's demand stays so consistent, even when other areas see these wild, dramatic swings. Okay, so we've unpacked 2025. Now for the most important part. What does all this mean for you, right now in 2026? Let's turn all this analysis into an actual, actionable game plan, whether you're thinking of buying or you're thinking of selling. In this new market, strategy is everything. For buyers, the whole game has shifted to preparation. Get your financing locked in early so you can move with confidence when you find the right place. For sellers, the focus is now on presentation and pricing it right from day one. And for both sides, be ready to have a real conversation and to negotiate. So, looking ahead, what's the forecast for 2026? Well, it's not for another wild boom, but for something much, much healthier. Steady demand and a modest, sustainable price appreciation, somewhere in the range of 2 to 3%. This all points to a stable market that's great for both long-term homeowners and for those who are looking to put down roots. And that really brings us to our final thought. The key takeaway from 2025 is that in a balanced market like Maryville's, being smart and being strategic is way more important than just being fast. The question isn't, how do I win a bidding war anymore? Now it's, how do I make the right move for my future? So, what will your move be?